As part of our latest podcast series to gather insights from executives across the International Islamic Trade Finance Corporation, we're pleased to be joined today by Nasser Al-Thekair, General Manager in Trade and Business Development at ITFC, who's here to tell us more about the support to the medical and healthcare sectors in light of COVID-19. Nasser, what long-term economic impact can the provision of emergency medical interventions have in terms of private sector trade development?
Now, you see, COVID-19 is, although it started as a health crisis, but that has transpired and moved into an economic as well as food crisis. So this describes the gravity of the situation. So as we can see that the COVID-19 caused irreversible damage to the global economic and financial system. That's why it's imperative to deal with the sanitary challenges to allow for a relative return to private sector contribution to employment as well as wealth creation. That's why ITFC launched its $300 million rapid response initiative aimed at enabling and empowering the member countries to purchase emergency COVID-19 related medical equipment and critical economic support, including, most importantly, the supply of food as well as energy. Not only that, ITFC supported the capacity building for medical personnel and laboratories to allow them to effectively respond to the COVID-19 pandemic. ITFC also reallocated new as well as repurposed some funds for the purchase of medical supplies and health equipment for a variety of our constituencies in the OIC member countries. Not only that, we took it up a notch higher where we took advantage of the technological solutions to maintain and intensify our trade finance technical assistance program. For instance, we have reinforced our global e-learning program for financial institutions in Asia and Africa in partnership with the International Chamber of Commerce and the Enhanced Integrated Framework, which is a WTO program. Now, these multiple interventions in the health sector as well as other strategic areas are contributing mainly to maintain the competitiveness of the private sector in OIC countries and making sure that the economies of our member countries continue to operate, because this is the most important thing. We do not want the economies to suffer because of the health crisis, of the lockdown, and of the disruption of the global supply chains. Even our global SME development program has been refocused and repurposed to focus on the most affected SMEs, whether they were in the health sector, in the agricultural sector, or in the financial and service sector, as well as in an effort to safeguard employment and ensure that private sector continues to participate in the global value chains.
Thank you, Nasser. And what do you see as being the impact on ITFC's trade and economic development mandate as a result of COVID-19?
Thank you for bringing up this important question. You see, ITFC has its core mandate advancing trade and improving lives, which balances and joins between financial sustainability as well as developmental impact. COVID-19 had a dramatic and important impact on us, reshaping our short-term plan, and has put the health sector among the top priorities of all MDBs, ITFC included. Now, this could not have happened, ironically, in a more appropriate time, because ITFC in 2017 launched its integrated solutions approach, combining trade finance and trade development to succeed in supporting the economic competitiveness, good exploitation of comparative advantages, as well as value-added creation. So it is without doubt that international trade is key in future economic and financial recovery plans. More specifically, trade finance is a critical factor in the functioning of global supply chain, as well as in the creation of employment opportunities. Not only that, technical assistance, which is the introduction of ITFC under the ITFC Integrated Solutions approach, and capacity building are required to build developing countries' resilience. Now, we have all known that there has been gaps in trade finance, and the need for trade finance is far more than what is available in the market. That's why ITFC resorted to some creative methods that would allow to attract non-traditional investors in trade finance to join the trade finance asset class through the development of specialized investment vehicles and funds to be able to attract these non-traditional players in trade finance. Now, one more thing. On the global scale, ITFC has been increasing its advocacy efforts, policy work, as well as its technical assistance and capacity building, as we have mentioned. At the global level, ITFC has been heavily involved in this year G20 under the Saudi presidency in the Trade and Investment Working Group. And we are fully aligned with their priorities as well as recommendations, specifically in the importance of the rule-based multilateral trading system under the WTO, and the Riyadh initiative to reform the WTO is really a good starting point to modernize the organization and adapt it to the new realities. Finally, we need to keep in mind the sustainable development, which is a key and pivotal component of the new international trading system that needs to be kept in view by all MDBs, and ITFC is definitely one of them. Moreover, strategic partnerships are key and important for us in ITFC to allow us to support our member countries for their economic recovery, stronger health system, as well as guaranteed food security. Thank you.
Fantastic. Well, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you, Nasser, for joining us today.